Alexa, turn on the lights. So that's my new gadget, Alexa. Anyways, so finally the most awaited video, that is budget regarding Leh Ladakh. Well, अगर आपने इसके पहले दो videos नहीं देखे हो तो please go ahead and watch those two videos. The first video was regarding all the general information about Ladakh, and the second video was regarding the route plan for Ladakh. That is, I have in general made the route plan, and I am also doing all calculations starting from Kolkata to Delhi, and then from Delhi to Ladakh and back to Delhi and back to Kolkata. I have divided the route in each of these videos. For example, Kolkata to Delhi has been considered a different leg, Delhi to Leh has been considered another leg, and then around Ladakh, that part has also been considered as another leg. So without further delay, let's start with the budget. So before I go into the depth of the budget, let me tell you the parameters that I have considered before making this cost guide about Ladakh. Number one parameter is that we have very few days leaves in hand, so we are trying to do things a little bit fast so that we can roam around the whole of Ladakh as fast as possible without unnecessarily waiting at one place for too much. And another consideration has been done while making this cost calculations and everything. For example, if at some place there is a rare chance to get a hotel at about 300 or 400 for a night, then instead of considering that option, I have considered the option to stay at that same place at least 700 or 800. क्योंकि अगर आप जा रहे हो वहाँ पे और आपको नहीं मिला, if you consider the budget at that place to be around 400 or 500 और आपको वो वाला होटल नहीं मिला, then you know that you have to spend at least 700 or 800 to stay at that place. So इस हिसाब से I have considered all the calculations on the average side, all the cost on the average side, so that when you plan for Ladakh, you have that particular budget. अगर पैसा बच गया, I would suggest you to use it in your next trip. लेकिन planning करते वक्त try to consider cost on the higher side. For a Ladakh trip, I have divided the cost to certain parts. For example, hotels, that is number one. The fuel required for your motorcycle, that is number two. Food for every day, number three. Motorcycle, that is, if in case you are not using your own motorcycle, how much would be the approximate cost for a rented motorcycle, that also I have considered. The cost for permits, जैसे कि आप ले जा रहे हो तो इनर लाइन परमिट्स चाहिए रहेगा आपको, फिर अगर आप मनाली से ले जा रहे हो then you need to pay Manali green tax. अगर आप कोलकाता से दिल्ली जा रहे हो, so while crossing Yamuna expressway you have to pay around 200 rupees toll tax. So सब कुछ consider करके I have put that under permits. इसके अलावा if you don't have the time to do a ride from Kolkata to Ladakh and back to Kolkata, I have also considered the budget for those people who want to start their ride for Delhi, or even for those people who want to start their rides directly from Leh. So in that case, other travel modes also come into the picture. For example, if you are taking your motorcycle from Kolkata to Delhi on a train, तो वो वाला cost other travel modes में आ जाएगा. Anyways, without further ado, let's start this Ladakh budget cost calculation series. Let me give you each and every intricate details of the cost that you are going to need ahead. ये सब छोड़ के, if you still have any doubts, I would suggest you to go ahead and drop a comment down below, and as always, I will surely reply back. So let's get started. Well, so starting with hotels, as you already know, a chunk of the cost for this Ladakh trip is going to go towards your hotels. So if you are riding from Kolkata to Delhi, to Leh, back to Delhi and then to Kolkata, which will be completed in around 17 to 19 days, I have considered more or less one double bedroom at every place. If there are any exceptions, I'll mention them down. Okay, so hotel cost regarding leg 1, that is your ride from Kolkata to Delhi and back to Kolkata, would take 5 nights, in which you would have to rent a hotel room. In general, the average price of hotels at Varanasi, Allahabad or Kanpur at about 700 to 800 per night. So 5 nights, that makes around 3,500 for your hotel cost from Kolkata to Delhi and back to Kolkata during your return trip. So in total that makes 3,500 for this leg of the journey. Now going ahead from Delhi to Leh via Srinagar, you will have to spend 2 more nights on the way. So in general, the hotels at Kashmir Valley, in and around Kashmir Valley, are a bit costly than we get hotels in Varanasi, Allahabad or Kanpur. So going by that, I have considered an average hotel cost of around 1,000 rupees to stay at these places. Mind you, I'm not talking about homestays at these places, I'm talking about proper hotels. So you can get even during peak season, you can get a hotel at around 1,000 rupees per night at these places. So your hotel cost from Delhi to Leh via Srinagar would be a total of 2,000 rupees for 2 nights. और जैसे कि प्रीवियस वाले रूट प्लानिंग वीडियो में मैंने ऑलरेडी बताया कि अगर श्रीनगर में कोई भी अनरेस्ट चल रहा हो, देन यू हैव टू चूज द मनाली रूट, एंड इन दैट केस ऑल्सो वाया मनाली रूट यू आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड 2 nights, one at Manali and the other one probably at Jispa or Sarchu. यहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा सा एडवांटेज भी है, डिसएडवांटेज भी है, क्योंकि मनाली उस टाइम पे काफी क्राउडेड रहता है, so the hotel rates are in general on the higher side. So I have considered average hotel room cost of about 2000 per night for your stay at Manali. And once again I am mentioning this is not for a homestay but a proper hotel room. Going ahead from Manali to Leh, as you will be halting at Jispa or Sarchu, you can get road shelters on the side of the road, जहाँ पे मैगी वगैरह बनाता है, जहाँ पे खाना वगैरह where they sell food and all. So there also you can get shelters, and there you can get shelters for 300 to 400 or 500 per bed. Mind you, that is on the basis of bed, that is a dormitory kind of shelter where you can stay comfortably for a night. हाँ, वहाँ पे चार्जिंग पॉइंट वगैरह एंड अदर एमिनिटीज वगैरह मिलना बहुत ही मुश्किल होगा, बिकॉज दैट इज अ शेल्टर, दैट इज नॉट इवन अ होम स्टे. और अगर आपको मनाली से ले जाते वक्त अगर एक प्रॉपर टेंट में रहना है, जैसे कि वहाँ पे होटल्स तो खासकर आपको बहुत बड़ी महंगी होटल्स तो आपको मिलेंगे नहीं, वहाँ पे सारे मैक्सिमम टेंट्स ही हैं, तो कंसिडरिंग दैट ए टेंट वुड कॉस्ट यू समवेयर बिटवीन 1000 to 2000, लेट्स पुट इट एट 1500. सो 1500 इज द एवरेज प्राइस ऑफ टेंट्स ऑन दिस रूट फ्रॉम मनाली टू ले. हो गया, आप पहुंच गए ले पे. नाउ यू हैव टू स्पेंड 4 more nights at ले. अब ले में होटल्स तो बहुत सारे रेट्स में मिलता है. फॉर एग्जांपल यू कैन आल्सो गेट होटल स्टार्टिंग एट अराउंड 600-700, बट एज आई सेड आई वोंट कंसीडर दैट रेयर अमाउंट ऑफ होटल्स अवेलेबल एट सच ए लो प्राइस, बिकॉज तब जाके पीक सीजन में आपको मिले ना मिले. सो कंसीडरिंग दैट इन ले आई कंसीडर द एवरेज होटल प्राइस टू बी अराउंड 1500 फॉर 4 nights, which will be around 6000 rupees. और एक नाइट आप पैंगोंग में जरूर रहना, बिकॉज पैंगोंग इज सच ए वंडरफुल प्लेस. आई वुड इंसिस्ट यू टू स्टे एंड स्पेंड 1 night at पैंगोंग. सो पैंगोंग में होटल्स थोड़ी बहुत कॉस्टली हैं, सो यू हैव टू कंसीडर द होटल रेट्स एट पैंगोंग फ्रॉम 2000 to 3000. सो आई एम कंसीडरिंग एन एवरेज ऑफ अराउंड 2500 फॉर 1 night at पैंगोंग. दैट मेक्स ए टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ अराउंड 8500 फॉर योर होटल स्टे एट ले. कुल मिला के योर टोटल होटल कॉस्ट फ्रॉम कोलकाता टू दिल्ली to Leh via the Srinagar or Manali route and back to Delhi via the Srinagar or Manali route and back to Kolkata would be somewhere around 17,000 rupees. So guys, once again I am telling you this is just a rough estimate. As I already told you in the previous episodes कि buffer days हाथ में लेके चलो, because in those areas there might be landslides, the roads might be closed for a few days, there might be snowfall, and you can expect the unexpected always on those mountain roads. So in that case अगर आपको 1-2 night कहीं और spend करना पड़ा, then naturally the cost of the hotels will increase. Anyways, now consider an average of about 17,000 rupees for all the hotels from Kolkata and back to Kolkata. Coming to those people who are considering to do their trip from Delhi to Leh and come back to Delhi, which is around 11 nights. Let's consider another night as a buffer, that is 12 nights. Once again, as I already told you, Delhi to Leh via Srinagar would be around 2000 rupees for those 2 nights, and in Leh the cost would be around 8500 rupees. So in total for a Delhi to Delhi trip, the average hotel cost would be somewhere around 13,000 rupees. And for those people who are planning to fly to Leh directly and then spend that time around Leh, I have considered 5+1 nights, because when you are landing in Leh directly, acclimatization is a must. Naturally you have to spend 1 day at complete rest and acclimatize yourself. So in that case for 5 nights you would require about 7,500 for your hotels at Leh. Considering it's 1,500 per night, and at Pangong it's the same, that is 2,500. So in total, if you are planning to start your trip from Leh and fly back from Leh, then the hotel cost would be around 10,000 rupees. Now moving on to the fuel cost. जो लोग प्लान कर रहे हो कि कोलकाता से ले जाके वापस कोलकाता आ रहे हो, you can very well understand fuel cost will be very big in this case. But even then I insist, do a Kolkata to Leh to Kolkata trip, because as I already told you, doing a trip right from your doorstep and traveling all those places of Ladakh and then coming back to your doorstep, I mean that's a completely different feeling altogether. So spending this amount of money for such a wonderful trip is really worth it. So go ahead for it. Anyways, I have considered the mileage to be around 30 kilometers per liter. माइलेज के हिसाब से आप अपने मोटरसाइकिल पे कैलकुलेट कर लेना, लेकिन 30 किलोमीटर पर लीटर से नीचे नहीं देना चाहिए, ये मैंने कंसिडर किया है. Considering that an approximate distance from Kolkata to Delhi to Leh and back to Kolkata, based on the route plan that I have given you in my previous video, comes to around 6,000 kilometers. That means you would have to consider around 15,000 rupees as fuel expenses from Kolkata back to Kolkata. For guys who are starting their ride from Delhi, it would be on the lower side obviously. So a ride from Delhi and back to Delhi would cost you about 7,500 rupees for around 3,000 kilometers. And a ride around Ladakh only would cost you around 1,500 rupees, because if you are riding just around Ladakh, as I've already mentioned, the only two places that you are going to visit are Nubra Valley, where you have the Diskit, Hundar, and the other place is Pangong Lake. So that's all total distance does not cross 500 kilometers. फिर आप ले city में वगैरह थोड़ा बहुत घूम लिए, and then the petrol cost should not exceed 1,500 rupees. So yeah, the petrol cost is very small in this case. Others बोल के एक section में मैंने consider कर लिया any miscellaneous expenses which I have kept at the minimal. This is just a rough estimate of the miscellaneous expenses. It all depends on you. आप कितना कैसे खर्चा करते हो, आप कैसे save करते हो each and every day. So that all depends on the miscellaneous expenses. Anyways, for a Kolkata to Kolkata, I have considered miscellaneous expense as 5,000 rupees. For Delhi to Delhi, it's 4,000, and for a Leh, I've done a rough estimate of around 3,000 rupees. Coming to the next major cost for those people who are not riding their own motorcycle but planning to rent a motorcycle. So कोलकाता से वापस कोलकाता जो लोग आने वाले हो वो तो अपने मोटरसाइकिल पे ही राइड करने वाले हो. So in this case, good news guys, we do not have to spend a single penny on your motorcycles, right? It's ours. And for those people who are planning to rent your motorcycle from Delhi and ride back to Delhi, let me break it down like this. A 350cc Royal Enfield in Delhi costs around 850 rupees per day. A Duke 200 costs around 1,000 rupees per day, and a 500cc Royal Enfield costs around 1,400 per day. And an Himalayan as well. Himalayan और 500cc Royal Enfield के प्राइस हमेशा हर जगह पे सेम ही रहता है, approximately more or less सेम रहता है. और अगर आप में से कोई डोमिनार या ड्यूक 390 के शौकीन हो, then that will cost a little bit more if you're renting from Delhi. That's around 1,500 or 1,600. So dominar और ड्यूक 390 are the costliest segment of bikes. Apart from that, हाँ मिलते हैं, हार्ले डेविडसन भी मिलते हैं, ट्रायम्फ टाइगर भी है रेंट पे, लेकिन वो मैं इस वीडियो पे कवर ना करूँ तो अच्छा है. You know why? Now, for those guys who are renting their motorcycle from Delhi, I have mentioned in the previous video कि और कहीं से भी rented motorcycles आप ले तक ले जा सकते हो, लेकिन ले से आप you cannot roam around places around Ladakh if you are not renting your motorcycle from Leh city itself. So हाँ, bike rental association bodies वगैरह में कुछ तो टसल चल रहा है कई सालों से. So people who rent their motorcycles from Srinagar, Chandigarh, Delhi, Manali, वगैरह and so on, they cannot ride their motorcycles, their rented motorcycles in Ladakh or from Ladakh, around Ladakh, anywhere. Like they cannot visit places like Nubra Valley or Pangong Lake or beat any other places in Ladakh. They can only roam around in Leh city. That's all. So yes, ले जाके आपको अलग से motorcycle rent करना पड़ेगा, and that is one additional cost. ले में बाइक रेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैव ऑलरेडी फिक्स्ड द प्राइस, सो ज़्यादा फर्क आपको नहीं मिलेगा. सो 350cc रॉयल एनफील्ड इज अराउंड 1100 इन ले, एंड 500cc रॉयल एनफील्ड इज अराउंड 1600 in Leh. That means for 4 days in Leh you have to spend either 4,400 for the 351 or 6,600 for the 500cc one. जैसे कि मैंने पहले ऑलरेडी बता दिया आपको कि if you are riding with a pillion, I would suggest you to go ahead and take a 500cc motorcycle or take the Himalayan. So naturally your cost would be on the higher side if you're renting it from Delhi. As per that, the total renting cost of a motorcycle on the lowest end is around 15,000. So you have to spend a minimum of 15,000 to rent a motorcycle from Delhi, ride it across Ladakh, and then come back to Delhi. So that's only the motorcycle rent, and that does not include the fuel. I am sure you guys know that already. Anyways, and for renting a 500cc motorcycle from Delhi and Delhi to Leh and coming back to Delhi, that would cost you somewhere around 27,000. So हाँ, difference काफ़ी है इन दोनों में, लेकिन pillion लेके जा रहे हो तो I would once again suggest you to take the 500cc. I mean the extra money that you are spending would be totally worth it, क्योंकि high altitude में आप ये नहीं चाहोगे कि आपके पिलियन मोटरसाइकिल के उतर के आपको धक्का लगाया और हर एक वाटर क्रॉसिंग में आप रुक जाओ मोटरसाइकिल लेके, राइट? सो टू मेक यू राइड कंफर्टेबल, do spend a little bit more. So average मैं इस केस में कंसिडर नहीं कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि लद्दाख में पिलियन लेके ज़्यादातर लोग नहीं जाते हैं. So I'm considering 15,000 for the cost of renting your motorcycle from Delhi and back to Delhi. Coming to the renting cost of motorcycles for those people who fly directly to Leh, rent a motorcycle from Leh and then fly back from Leh. In this case, the renting cost would once again be very small. For a 350cc motorcycle and for those many nights at Leh, you would have to spend around 8,000 rupees for renting the motorcycle. अब बारी है permits की. So कोलकाता से ले जाने वालों के लिए the permit cost would be somewhere around 1400. 200 rupees for that. Only one of the very few toll plazas in our country that charges tolls for motorcycles. So Yamuna Expressway में motorcycle के toll is something around 210 rupees. So 210 that makes 420 rupees. Permits के लिए आगे जाके आपको around 1000 देना पड़ेगा. So if you are riding via Manali, naturally that green tax wala part and the beyond Rohtang permit wala cost also adds up. Apart from that, inner line permit that will be applicable for anyone. So considering that, permit cost for a Kolkata to Leh to Kolkata would be roughly at around 1400 to 1500. For those guys who are starting from Delhi as well, Yamuna Expressway ka cost chhod do, the cost would be roughly at around 1000 rupees. And for those people who are flying to Leh straight away, for them the permit cost would be somewhere around 700 or 800. Round up कर लेते हैं, चलो let's consider that 1000 extra बच गया तो मौज कर लेना ट्रिप के बाद. अब आते हैं अदर ट्रैवल मोड्स वाले. भाई कोलकाता से जो लोग राइड कर रहे हैं उनके लिए तो अदर ट्रैवल मोड्स कुछ है ही नहीं. सो यू डोंट हैव टू स्पेंड ए सिंगल पेनी ऑन अदर ट्रैवल मोड्स. वंस अगेन, जो लोग दिल्ली से राइड कर रहे हैं, ऑब्वियसली सिंस आई स्टे इन कोलकाता, आई एम कंसिडरिंग द फ्लाइट और ट्रेन कॉस्ट फ्रॉम कोलकाता टू दिल्ली. सो फ्लाइट में आप जा रहे हो तो इट वुड बी अराउंड 8,000 टू एंड फ्रो. दैट इज फ्रॉम कोलकाता टू दिल्ली एंड बैक टू दिल्ली. राउंड ट्रिप फ्लाइट कॉस्ट अराउंड 8,000 अगर आपने सही टाइम के अंदर बुक किया. It would also be cheaper अगर आप बहुत महीने पहले से बुक करके रख रहे हो, then it will be cheaper than that. Anyways, rough estimate 4,000 for train and 8,000 for flights from Kolkata to Delhi and back to Kolkata. और जो लोग लेह तक जा रहे हो फ्लाई करके, तो उन लोगों के लिए इट वुड बी रफ एस्टिमेट, इट वुड बी अराउंड 20,000 फॉर ए राउंड ट्रिप फ्रॉम कोलकाता टू लेह एंड बैक टू कोलकाता. आ जाते हैं बफर पे. दिस इज द एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट ऑफ कैश जो कि आपको स्पेंड एकदम ही नहीं करना है, बिल्कुल ही नहीं करना है. लेकिन गॉड फॉरबिड इफ समथिंग बैड हैपेंस, इफ सम इंसिडेंट और सम small accident happens, you need to be ready with the cash and the amount of money required for your immediate expenses, right? So in that case वो expense तब काफ़ी भारी पड़ जाता है, but you must have the initial amount of money ready. So on an average, I will suggest you to have at least 15 to 20,000 of buffer money in your account, so that just in case if anything happens, you can use that money. Let's hope we never need to use it, but then keep that amount in your bank account. And this amount stands equal for anyone of you riding to Ladakh. So that's in short all the expenditures, all the cost, all the details. You can see this table behind where I have mentioned all the cost, expenditures and details. I will also leave you a link with this table down in the description below. आप जाके मेरे blog जो है onelivinglife.in, वहाँ पे जाके आप ये पूरा table देख सकते हो, and accordingly you can calculate, adjust, make your own adjustments and get the rough estimate. आते हैं total cost पे. The total cost for those people riding from Kolkata to Leh and back to Kolkata would be somewhere around 50,000 rupees plus the buffer money. Let's consider it 15,000. That is, you need to have at least 65,000 rupees with you to start riding from Kolkata, go to Leh and come back to Kolkata. Leaving the buffer money, the total cost would be 50,000 rupees approximately. Adding up all these figures for those people who are riding, so starting from Delhi and coming back to Delhi, the average cost would be around 56,000 rupees. Yes, that's because of the flight that you are taking from Kolkata to Delhi and back to Kolkata. मैंने flight इसलिए consider किया क्योंकि in the very beginning I already told you that I have done this calculations keeping in mind that we all have very few leaves in hand. इसके साथ buffer add कर लेना और buffer add करके that becomes around 70,000. Now coming to the amount of money required for those people who are flying straight to Leh and will be flying back from Leh. From Kolkata, the trip cost would be around 45,000 rupees. उसके साथ buffer जोड़ के 60,000 rupees. So this is a rough estimate of the budget and cost broken down to their very detail and explained to you in this video. अगर आपके क्वेश्चंस हैं तो ज़रूर कमेंट छोड़ना नीचे एंड आई विल रिप्लाई बैक एज ऑलवेज. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you like this video, as always, do give a thumbs up to this video, and if you have not subscribed yet, do subscribe. Thanks for watching.